What's up, guys? How you all doing? Hope you've all had an absolutely fantastic weekend, or perhaps you're only at the very beginning of Sunday and are just finishing off your weekend. Either way, hope you're having a good one. And I had a really nice day today. Went out with myself, Jade, and Brooke, and we went off to a restaurant for a Sunday lunch, like we quite often do on a Sunday. And today we actually went back to a place that holds a few memories for all of us, really. And it kind of got me thinking about one of the things that I sort of really run my life around quite regularly, in terms of it's not really a moral, it's just a kind of a way of thinking that I really put into absolutely everything, and I have done for a long, long time. And the reason it kind of struck me today was that about probably 7 odd years ago now, I kind of took on the responsibility of Brooke and her sister at a very young age, and it took up a huge amount of my time, resource, money. It put a huge strain on my relationship. There was a whole bunch of things about it, but I stuck in it, and now I've ended up with two, sort of women in my life that are not obviously romantically involved, but are involved in my life where I don't know. It's difficult to kind of explain. They kind of look up to me. I support them. They support me, and now forever they'll always be there for me, if you know what I mean. So it's difficult to kind of put across to you, but it's a very deep and sort of meaningful thing to me, and very, very close to my heart. This sort of relationship that I've built up with Brooke and Jodie, and it got me kind of thinking that I should have a quick chat to you guys about this kind of belief system that I've got. And it really bases itself around what you put in is what you get out. And this is probably one of my number one things that I kind of run my entire life around. And it applies to absolutely everything. It applies to work, it applies to relationships, it applies to children, to pets, to anything, literally anything that you can think of. This particular sort of way of thinking, mindset, absolutely applies itself to, and it is literally as simple as that. As what you put in is what you get out. Now let's look at some examples of that. And the reason I kind of did that long-winded introduction there was that to me kind of made me think of this, and it was so nice to be sitting around the table today with the girls, seeing that they've grown into women, and really lovely people with good hearts, good morals, and whatnot. And a lot of that came from me. And it's one of those things, yes, I put a lot of effort into it, and yes, it put a huge strain on my life and a whole bunch of different other things. But man, it was worth it now. I got these, it's just phenomenal, really. The end result of that particular situation. And that's just one example. That's kind of, I guess, like the children example, if you like. And it goes the same with my son. If you look at work, a lot of people are always saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But they either don't bother, or they put some half-assed attempt into it. There is no get-rich-quick scheme. There is nothing like that. Everything is about, the amount that you put in is generally going to give you an equivalent amount back. And the more you put in, the more you get back. Now, like I say, that goes for, relationships, like I spoke about earlier. Also goes for romantic relationships as well. You can't go have 50-60 years marriages like my grandparents and my parents have without putting your all into it. You've got to constantly be thinking about the other person. You've got to constantly be dynamic, constantly be changing, constantly putting effort and energy into that particular subject. It's the same with pets. A lot of people always say, "Oh, how did you get your dog to be so well trained?" Or, not that mine is, by any means, by the way. But yeah, so if people do have that kind of thing, you watch it on the dog shows and programs like that, and you're like, "Man, how did they do that?" Well, I'll tell you how they did that. They put an extraordinary amount of energy into it. A lot of people say, how did you get so far into your career? Now, obviously, there is a certain amount of, being in the right place at the right time, what some people call luck, maybe. But a lot of it is about putting the correct amount of energy in and getting that equivalent amount of energy back. That goes for life as well. And, we spoke a little bit the other day about you know, being good to people and just being a good person, you know, trying to be a good person in society. That's the same thing, you know, you put into society, you get a little bit back from society. And I think that works all the way throughout life, with absolutely everything. I can tell you it works with my YouTube stuff. I mean, I don't particularly look at the amount of views I'm getting and stuff like that, but I can tell you, since I've been doing vlogs every day, for example, and this is only a very tiny channel, with a very small following, albeit an absolutely fantastic one. But you know, the views have gone up, and that's an exact correlation there between me putting a little bit more effort in and me getting a little bit more back. So anyway, guys, that's enough of me absolutely waffling on. I've probably completely bored you to tears, but I thought I'd kind of let you in on that, because a lot of you kind of say, you know, how do you manage time, how do you do this, blah 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 blah. And that to me is probably one of my kind of key ways that I look at absolutely everything. A new project, that's how I attack it. A new relationship, that's how I attack it. Absolutely everything, that is exactly my mindset in kind of looking into it. Anyway, bit heavy, bit deep for a Sunday, so fuck all that shit, let's get out of here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.